This is my follower garden, and if you want to be part of it, stay tuned. So I came up with this crazy idea where I was going to ask my followers and subscribers across all my social media platforms for input on what they wanted in this garden. So if you're a follower or subscriber, feel free to drop in the comments your idea for a plant in this garden. The only rules are: 1, you need to be a follower or a subscriber, and 2, I'm looking for perennials that are zone 5 hardy and survive in full sun. Anyways, how did we get started on building this bed? We have 2 large windows in the front of our house. This was one of the main driving forces behind this garden, was we wanted a couple trees that we can plant that would break up the direct sight line into our house. We landed on the ornamental pear and the Crimson King maple, which I made a video about how I planted those earlier. But before all that began, it came for the garden bed prep. This was a task all in itself because I chose to do this near mid to end July when the temperatures were soaring. So I started out by spray painting and outlining our idea for the garden shape. I then used my spade and I lifted all the turf. This part pretty much killed me. After that, it came time to loosen up some of this compacted soil. Here's a TikTok showing how I was doing that. So basically I used 3 different tools when it came to loosening up my soil. I used a hand tiller, I used a cultivator, and I used a rake. Once my soil was nice and loosened up, it was time to throw some amendments in here to add some organic matter. This ground was bone dry, hard clay, super compact. So I needed to add a lot that's going to soften this dirt up. What I landed on was choosing a couple different varieties of compost. One that's just made out of normal organic plant matter and one that had sea culture in it. The sea culture was just to help feed the plants that I'm going to plant in here, and the rest of it was to break up that heavy compact clay. I also added some peat moss for more organic matter and moisture retention. This is also to help break up that clay. I ended up putting about 9 bags of compost into this bed and only 2 cubic feet of peat moss. Once I dumped all those bags out, I went through the whole bed loosening process again to help mix this up. After that, the bed was largely prepped. I still have to do some soil tests here to make sure that I have all the nutrients I need in this garden bed. Defining an edge of a garden bed actually makes that garden bed pop so much more. You can see the difference here in these 2 gardens. This one I went through with an edging tool and made a very defined edge, and this one just kind of blends into the grass. Notice the difference? The first 2 plants to go into this garden bed were the 2 trees that I mentioned earlier, followed by a couple hollyhocks. I chose these because I liked the verticality of the plant and the fact that they pop with color. And this is where you guys come in. I need some suggestions. Like I said, they gotta be perennials, zone 5 hardy, and like full sun. So anyways, if you want to be part of this garden project, make sure you drop a like and a comment of the plant that you want to see in the follower garden. As always, you can find the most recent video in the top left, a related video in the bottom left, and the subscribe button on the right hand side. I will see you in the next video.